YouTube, and you can tell how old I am because I still use YouTube instead of TikTok. So, as far as I'm concerned, TikTok is something that happens with a clock. But, you know, that's just one of those things about old people. We just don't do change very well. But I saw this video, and it was a teacher, and she said, I teach my kids that they don't have to like everybody. And that was a problem with some people. They didn't like her saying that because we're supposed to like everybody and everything is supposed to be all right. She goes, no. She goes, why should we tell our children that they need to like everybody when we don't? When as adults, we don't do that. And so she came up with, she taught them, you don't have to like these people, but there's rules. Just because you don't like them, you don't got to tell everybody. Just because you don't like them, don't isolate them. Don't get all your friends to separate them. And she had several others. And I thought that was a really good idea. And I think we, as Christians, I think we have a better way of handling that. But I think we still have the same problem. We all know, well, let's go to Matthew 5:44. My problem is, I've been thinking about this lesson and still thinking about it, and so it's changing as I try to do it, so it may not come together too well. So be smarter than I am about putting it all together. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Jesus wants us to love everybody. Love our neighbor as ourselves. But we people have a problem with that because we don't understand what love is, and we don't understand what like is. We think that we have to like somebody to love them. Like is a fickle emotion. You can like people for good reasons, and you can dislike people for good reasons. You can like people for bad reasons, and you can dislike people for bad reasons. You can do the same for stupid reasons, and you can do the same for no reason at all. I'm sure that there is somebody in your life that you actually like that you know you really shouldn't. Everything about them is something you don't like, but just for some reason, you like them. The good thing is God never told us we have to like anybody. He commanded us to love them, but he didn't tell us we had to like them. In our minds, though, we really think, yeah, you know, I really have to like somebody to love them, and that's because we don't understand the love of the Bible. The Greek word is agape, and we preachers like to use that because love is, I think, the world's biggest shotgun word. A shotgun word is a word that has so many meanings. If you say the word, you're going to hit everything. Because you can love apple pie, you can love your car, you can love your wife. And those things don't mean the same thing. But the Greek has 3 words for what we translate love. Eros, and that's a sexual love. And phileo, that's a friendship love. And agape, which is the godly love. 1 John 4:19, I won't go there, but that says, we love because he loved us. It's not the kind of love that anything has. And the funny thing is Greek doesn't have anything to do with our idea of romantic love. That's sort of a combination of all 3. But romantic love, friendship love, and to me, I think the idea of friendship love is pretty close to like. Like I said, that's fickle. You can like somebody one day and not like them the next. But like and love don't really have anything to actually do with one another. Even in romantic love, I am absolutely positive that there are many days that my wife does not like me. But she still loves me. But I know for a fact that there are some times that she does not like me at all. Life is fickle. Love is not. So I'm going to read 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, 4 through 8a. That's the first half of A, because if we go to the second half, we'll have to keep reading another 3 or 4 verses. So I'm going to chop it off there. First Corinthians 13:4. Love is patient and kind. I'm going to stop there and give you the definition of agape love so that you can see it in action. It's good to get definitions of words, but it's also good to see them in action, because sometimes our brains have trouble taking the idea and the reality and putting them together. So the definition of agape love is to want what is best for someone else. That's pretty simple. That's what that love is. It's not emotional. It comes from an emotion called compassion. But in itself, the word in Greek is a warm word. It's not hot. In fact, it's almost cold. It's almost emotionless. It is something that you do. It's not a feeling or an emotion. Love is an action. Love is patient and kind. You don't have to like somebody to be patient with them. You don't have to like them to be kind. All of those rules that teacher was giving was on how to be kind. And that's a real important thing. You don't have to like what people do. You don't have to like who they are. But you do have to be patient and kind with them. just think of how kind God has been with you and how patient he has been. Because I'm sure that you all have some stupid thing that God has told you not to do that you've been working with for quite a while. God is patient. God counts the little victories. He doesn't wait for the big ones. Love does not envy or boast. So much trouble in this world is caused because we envy. And in the very similar thing, it's caused because we boast. Have you ever wondered how many people stumble trying to live up to the example that they think you set? Because they don't know you, they don't know the mistakes you've made, they don't know how long it took you. Well, that's not boasting, but you know what? Sometimes when with the face we put on to everybody, that is kind of like a boast. It's, well, yeah, you know what? I'm all put together. I'm doing good. Envying and boasting breaks down relationships and breaks down people. It is not arrogant or rude. There are many times that I have had to bite my tongue because the Lord gave me a sarcastic mind. And there are many times that I have had to just go, because that would be rude. It would be arrogant. And it wouldn't help the other person. See, that's the key to love. Love is focused on the other person's good, not our own. Love is focused on that. It does not insist on its own way. I have trouble with that one. I'm pretty stubborn. As we deal with people, we need to understand that they don't have to be like us. They don't have to think exactly the way we do. It's okay. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Like comes and goes. Love never ends. The love that comes from God doesn't end. It keeps going, and it is focused on people. What's good for them. They may not always like love. Love is not always likable. My wife has told me things because she loves me that I didn't like. And it just wasn't very likable. But it was for my good. You know, I'm pretty sure that most of us have disciplined our children to make them better people. Because that's what the discipline's for, or should be. Not because they embarrassed us, not because they were just out of control, but to make them better people. And I'm sure they didn't like it. I mean, they might be perfect. But I wasn't, and I didn't like it. But as I look back from 73 to 16, I go, no, thank you. Thank you very much that you love me enough to be unlikable. Because there may be 2 or 3 of you out there when you were 16 that you liked your parents. It wasn't me. Okay? It wasn't me. But you know, the older I got, the smarter they got. The difference between 18 and going out to work on a job for 6 months and coming back, my dad had really gotten smart in that time. I just don't know how he got that smart that fast. We get all caught up because we, just like kids, find it hard to like people. And we know we're supposed to love people, and so that gives us, as Christians, some conflict. You know, thing is, you're never going to like everybody. You're not supposed to. God never commanded you to like them. He commanded you to love them. He commanded us to care about their souls, to care about them. That's what's important. That's what he meant when he said, love your enemies. He didn't say, oh, I like it, hit me again. That was not the purpose. The purpose is that we care more about other people than we do ourselves. And I want you to think about a little something. I want you to think, because I truly believe that heroism is love. When you look at somebody and you think they're a hero, what did they do? They put somebody else's best interest above their own. That is heroism. And when you put your nasty neighbor's well-being above your own, that you bite your tongue and try to do things so that you can reach them with the gospel. You try to not hurt them. Try to do the good things. That's loving, and that's also heroic. Because the greatest hero of all time is not Samson. It's not Superman. It's Jesus Christ. He had everything and he gave it all up for an ungrateful, disobedient, resentful world. And the funny thing is, he didn't care. He knew before he went to the cross that even though he would sacrifice himself, that there would be people the majority of people that would turn their back on him, would not accept it. And he did it anyway. As a Christian, you're going to have to go out of your way to be kind to people. You're going to have to go out of your way to not be rude to people. You know, we should be worried about the physical things that happen to our neighbors and to people. And our love should carry those things out. We should worry about what hurts them, what helps them. But our number one concern should be getting them to heaven. That should be our number one concern. You don't have to like somebody to want them to be in heaven. And you go, well, I really want to be in heaven with that person. I don't even want to sit next to him on the pew for an hour. I don't like them. Do you really think that when you get to heaven that you're going to be just like you are now? No, you're going to be so much better because all that's fleshly is going to be gone. Anybody that God allows into heaven is somebody I want to be in heaven with. Anybody. There are going to be murderers in heaven. There are going to be liars in heaven. There will be cheaters in heaven. And I hope that I love Jesus Christ enough that I'm there to join him. We need to make our lives one of showing passion and love to everyone around us. If you need to answer the invitation in a public way, we'd ask that you come down as we stand as we sing.